All right. It happened. We can all rest easy. We can all be okay. It turned out okay. Donovan Mitchell returned to Utah, and Jordan Clarkson came up big late. The Hoops Nerd postgame show. I don't think my audio worked on that. I'm like, what's going on here? But if you heard audio, let me know in the chat. But I don't believe the audio played. So that's great. But anyways, Donovan Mitchell came back to Utah, and it went really well. But before we talk about that, let's talk about our sponsor, PrizePicks. If you haven't already, go to PrizePicks.com, sign up with promo code HoopsNerd. They will match up to $100 if you join. So go join. It's up to $100 if you put $5 down. If you use promo code HoopsNerd, they will match $5 free. Go do it. Why wouldn't you? Do it. Do it. All right. Done with that. Let's talk about this. Donovan Mitchell returns to Utah, and should we call it Boogate? The boo conspiracy. What was going to happen? Was he going to be booed? Was he going to be cheered? Well, he was cheered, and I'm glad he was, because he was a great Jazz man. The last year or so, he kind of gave up on the Jazz a little bit defensively and in the playoffs, and just this wanting to be on the Jazz in general. But that's okay, because I love Donovan Mitchell. It was fun while he was on the team. He's one of the most fun players to root for in a long time, and I'm sad it went the way it did, and that he got traded away, and it kind of had to happen. But I'm just happy that we had a nice reunion. And guess what? The Jazz won. So let's talk about the actual game, shall we? Donovan Mitchell, like I think everyone expected, came in and put up a big-time performance. You knew that he was going to come in and play well. And by the way, I forgot to mention that video the Jazz did beforehand was great, was fantastic. I really liked it. Really fun. And I also thought that Donovan looked like he sincerely appreciated it before the game, during, and after. You could tell he probably had some nerves, because, I think he wondered how it might be, because this Jazz fan base, we're infamous. People think about us. They say those people are crazy, and we are crazy. But hey, we got morals and we got class, and so we cheered Donovan, okay? So everyone could be happy. Donovan seemed like he was happy. Even in losing, it kind of seemed like he was okay with it. Like, you know what? We deserved this win. And that was one thing I liked about this game, too, is the Jazz were very interested in winning this game. I don't think the Jazz are very interested in winning a lot of games from here on out, but they were definitely interested in winning this game. I can tell you that. And I thought let's talk about the Cavs first. Whoa! Cook it up, CZ, starting off the night with a donation, my man. Thank you, my friend. $14.99 in Australian dollars. I don't know what the inflation rate is from Australia to the U.S., but thank you, Cook It Up, ZZ. Cook It Up says James De Fontecchio is not an NBA. Oh, James De Fontecchio is not an NBA player. Neither is Rudy Gay. More minutes for Ochai. And why not give Jay Silky some minutes? Also, thoughts on John Collins' fit/trade. Jay Silky. That Jordan Clarkson? Who's Jay Silky? Let me know. I'm an idiot. So if you could let me know. But let's just unpack this. I will say that I kind of agree with, at this point, I kind of agree with Will Hardy on playing Rudy Gay over Fontecchio, if that's the choice. Just because the defense with Rudy Gay is better. The shooting with Fontecchio is good. He is a lights-out shooter, but I don't always know if it fits within the offense, and I don't know if he's always making everyone better. When he's shooting lights out, great, fantastic, but I don't know if he's a good defender. The defensive numbers aren't good, and when Rudy Gay is in there, the defensive numbers are good. That's why Rudy Gay plays. Nightly reminder of why Rudy Gay plays is not for the offense, which everyone likes to mention. It's the defense, and his duo with Walker Kessler is one of the better duos in the league defensively. It just absolutely is. So that's why he plays. More minutes for Ochai, 100% agree, because I think Ochai legitimately is a better option than those two guys anyway. Although Rudy Gay plays power forward, so you can't really, maybe. Oh, Johnny Juzang. Yeah, why not? Is Johnny Juzang on the roster? I think so. that's how much we've seen Johnny Juzang. I think you're right. He's not going to play. He might not. Yep, you're right. Yeah, you know what? He shot it well in college. I don't know. Why not? I don't know. Why not? Cook it up. Anyways, $2.99 additional. Cook it up. You're my MVP of the night. Cook it up, ZZ. Sean, I believe it's Australia, right? Cook it up. That's why Australia has just some of the best people in the world. By the way, short story on Australians that I know. When I was a missionary in the MTC, we're not going to go there religiously, but we're going to talk about Australians. There were 2 Australian missionaries in the MTC, and they were crazy. And one night, they began to wrestle on the MTC floor. Guess what? You had about 100 missionaries come crowd around and watch, because guess what? There's nothing else to do. Literally nothing else to do. So I watched these 2 Australians wrestle in the MTC. It got heated. One of the Australians bit the other's ear, and it came half off of his head. His ear tore halfway off. It was one of the wildest things I've ever seen. And then what happened next? They got up, gave each other a hug, and went to medical together. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. So shout out to Australians and their ability to wrestle and tear each other's ears off and then give each other a hug. So anyways, let's continue. Also, thoughts on John Collins. I love John Collins for the Jazz, but that report that came out that they want like the same haul that Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert got is just ridiculous. Because as much as I love John Collins, and I love John Collins, I don't think he's a all-star. I don't think he's like a all-NBA. I mean, maybe he comes to Utah and he just explodes, but I think he's more of an elite role player is what he is. He's a guy that has incredible athleticism. He can shoot the 3. He can rebound. And they're saying that, if you listen to that podcast that Zach Lowe had with Kevin Herter, he can do a little more that we don't see. So he might be able to unlock a few things, like he can pass the ball. He can do a lot of things. But if the Atlanta Hawks are asking for the same haul that Donovan Mitchell got, no, that is not going to happen. That is not. So then I guess we just don't get John Collins, But if, you know what? I think you can trade some things to them and maybe give them our Brooklyn Nets pick, But then also trade them like Malik Beasley and something else, Zintis, X marks the spot, baby. $10. Holy smokes. Thank you, Zintis. I appreciate it. Incredible. Hey, James and All-Stars, I am back. I have been very, very busy at work. I agree, James. It seems the Jazz don't want to win games to make the playoffs, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, they wanted to win tonight. You could tell on the floor and from Will Hardy's coaching and the players on the floor. I thought that was super interesting who played and how they played. And this was like playoff rotation stuff. But it was incredible to watch this Jazz team kind of go all in for it. And I thought that it was interesting that Ochai played when it mattered most. But thank you, Zintis. Let's get back to, I guess that's all I got to say on John Collins. But here's the thing. If the Jazz could figure out a way to get John Collins by doing something like that, like can you give them Jared Vanderbilt for John Collins? I'd probably do that straight up. Because I think that John Collins could play better with Walker Kessler. And I think John Collins can fit with Lauri Markkanen. And they can do some things. And John Collins can play a little backup center, So if Kessler's backing up Wembanyama when the Jazz draft him, or if Kessler starts and we got Scoot Henderson or something like that, John Collins can play power forward. And then at times can shift to play a 5-out offense that the Jazz have been doing this year. That's really awesome, So I think John Collins is incredibly versatile, can do a lot of things, and helps you win in a lot of ways. And I think he's been in one of the worst situations in the league for the last 4 years. The guy's got to be depressed. right? Honestly, go listen to that Zach Lowe podcast and listen to the end where it's Kevin Herter. They talk about like Trae Young and what it was like to play with them. The first thing he says, he did not say anything about like what was said about Trae Young. Like, did not say he sucks to play with, or it like didn't say that was untrue, basically. But what he did do is came immediately to the defense of John Collins and said, for some reason, John Collins always gets like a bad rap, and he's not like that. He said he's a nice guy, great locker room guy. I'm all the way in on John Collins, but not for the haul that we sent for Donovan Mitchell. Let's see. All right, should we talk about Donovan? Donovan Mitchell was fantastic tonight. 14 for 27. 51%, 7 for 18 from 3, fantastic. And then he was perfect from the free throw line, 46 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Just an incredible night for Donovan. And I think we all expected it. He was going to come out and play his A game. And it was interesting how his team kind of let him do it, you know. That to me, that's a good sign if you're a Cavs fan, that this Cavs team supports their guy and says, hey, this is his night. We want him to do well. Let him cook. And he did. The problem is that sometimes when you just have a one, you know, if it's just an offense with one note, it can be, if he doesn't play well at the end, and Mitchell missed some shots at the very end, and in the Cavs defense, Jordan Clarkson had a 7-point possession. So that was crazy. But Donovan had an incredible night and showed why he was worth everything the Jazz get. I was actually thinking about it today, while I was driving. I think it's a very win-win trade for both teams. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is the superior player. I mean, I love Lauri Markkanen. We'll talk about it. And Lauri Markkanen is going to be an all-star, so it's pretty incredible. You trade an all-NBA player, you get back an all-star, which is great. You get back Colin Sexton, who is a solid NBA rotation player, and 3 great picks in the future. You know, so if Donovan decides after a couple years he's kind of tired of Cleveland, if things don't go the way he wants, and he decides to go to not Atlanta, but to like Miami or New York, which were kind of the teams we had heard rumors about when Donovan was behind the scenes kind of. Anyways, we're just not going to dive into that tonight. But I think those picks will turn out to be really great. So if you get an all-star, and if one of those 3 picks hit and you get like another all-star in the draft, I mean, monster stuff, man. Pretty great. And for the Cavs, you got to be excited because you've got an all-NBA guy in Donovan Mitchell. Absolutely. Absolutely doing incredible things. And this Cavs team, I mean, I don't know if they have the punch to get over the top, but why not? Because they're very, like, I don't know what, like the only weakness, they don't have a lot of weaknesses. Like, what is the weakness of this Cavs team? They can score. They can defend. They have multiple defenders. They have multiple scorers. If Donovan's not cooking, then you can give it to Darius Garland, and he will go run the show. I think I was kind of wondering if we'd see an Evan Mobley jump, and we didn't see that this year, and I wonder if that's because they got this new superstar on the team named Donovan, and so the ball's in his hands more often. It'll be interesting to see how Evan Mobley evolves. But, man, him and Jared Allen are one of the best front court defenses out there. They're incredible. And then Isaac Okoro, who I really loved in the draft. I even made a draft video about him. He's turned out to be a really nice defender. And so they've got these 3 defensive studs right here. And then Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland as kind of their offensive punch. They're a fun team. They're interesting. They can do a lot of different things. And then they've got a nice bench. If Karis LeVert can play at a high level off the bench, Kevin Love can do what he does where he's a 6th man of the year type of big. They're a good team. So we'll see. They kind of seem like they need kind of one more guy off the bench. You know, this bench isn't extremely impressive, and Karis LeVert can sometimes be pretty bad. So it kind of feels like they're kind of missing like one more guy. So when you have the playoffs, you have a 7-man rotation, then they become really interesting. So anyways, that's my take on the Cavs. I think they're fun. I'm rooting for Donovan to do well. Because guess what? If Donovan Mitchell does well, then other teams will look at the Jazz and say, hey, we would like nice players too. Would you please trade them to us? That's what I'm saying. All right, should we talk about the Utah Jazz in this game? What a game. What an absolute fun game this was. Like I said, I liked watching the rotation. The Jazz definitely wanted to win this game. Kelly Olynyk did not play because of the turned ankle before, so I assume Walker Kessler wouldn't have started had he been playing. But Walker Kessler gets the start tonight and was solid. And this was playoff level atmosphere. This was two teams that wanted to win this game, and the Jazz won it straight up. And the Cavs are a really good team. So it was impressive to see Walker Kessler come in, be really solid. He goes 3 for 9 because he met Evan Mobley, who is fantastic, who was blocking some of his shots. But 11 rebounds, 6 points, 1 block. Honestly, I just would be surprised if he ever goes a game without a block at this point. Malik Beasley starts, and I like that, but man, the 3-point shot was not really falling tonight. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been quite as close. But 1 for 8 from 3. He's quietly in a little bit of a slump recently. Malik Beasley is, I would say, for the last 3 weeks. He needs to figure that shot out if the Jazz want to win. Unless they want to lose, then they just, keep hucking it at the back of the rim, Malik. But anyways, 13 points. He was a +3. He spreads the floor. That's the one thing about lights out shooters like Beasley is even when he's not hitting, he's spreading the floor for other guys, because he has to be guarded. So someone like Lauri Markkanen, who also didn't have an incredible shooting night, can still get what they want. And the thing is one of the things that's so nice now with Lauri Markkanen, his confidence level and his, one of the things I like right now that I'm seeing with Lauri Markkanen that I wasn't seeing at the beginning of the year and I was kind of hoping to, and so I'm getting pretty excited about this guy, is he knows he's a stud now. He kind of knows it. I think he's been so tentative in his career. Came to Utah. He showed what he could do with Finland. He starts the year and has some nice games and shows what he can really do. And over the season, I think he's really taken control of that number one option role. And he's showing, he's doing things that number one guys do. He is banging down low. He is taking the ball in the post, and he will put his shoulder. He doesn't care. Lamar Stevens was coming at him multiple times this game, and Lamar Stevens is a strong dude. And Lauri was like, bring it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, 6 for 18, 1 for 5 from 3, but it was an awesome night. He scores 25 points on 18 shots. Why? Because he's doing superstar stuff at the free throw line. This right here is fantastic. I don't know how to overstate enough or state it. I don't know. That phrase didn't work. I don't know how to emphasize this enough, how important and how awesome this is. Because this is a player that's learning how to score no matter what. Donovan Mitchell's not doing this. I'll be honest. Everything else, Donovan Mitchell's kind of doing better. But when it comes to manufacturing points at the free throw line, that's fantastic. So if you have a bad shooting night, you can't hit, the three's not falling, you're still manufacturing points at the free throw line. And this right here is a sign of just I don't know how to word this. This is the juice. All right? This is the punch that you are wanting. This is the essence that makes me wake up in the morning. This is, when you I don't even, when you take, you haven't had a Mountain Dew for 3 months and you're just completely off caffeine. And then you take a sip of one of those delicious Mountain Dew Zeros, Major Melon Mountain Dew Zero, and you just want it so bad, and you're just so flat, and you take one and you're just that's what this is. This is the superstar stuff. This is why Lauri Markkanen is going to make a lot of money in Utah, because he is going to do this. And when the Jazz get their other star, and I've got some thoughts, because my goodness, there are so many routes the Jazz can go. Lauri Markkanen is the number 2 of a championship team, for sure. And this right here is the proof. He's been doing this for a while now. The manufacturing points. And look at this, 16 rebounds. These were beast rebounds. So 25 and 16 for Lauri Markkanen, who did not shoot the ball well. And he manufactured points because these are the things that like James Harden would do. Luka Doncic, these guys that get to the line regardless. And this is a referee's giving him the whistle. So this is fantastic. I just can't say enough how good of a sign this is. It's incredible. And playoff atmosphere. So he was getting that ball in the basket, whatever it took. All right, Jordan Clarkson, they win the game because of Jordan Clarkson. Unbelievable. The 7-point play near the end of the game was incredible. He goes 11 for 19 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3. This Cavs team, in fact, let's go look. I always have this up. Let's just refresh. After tonight's game, look at that. The last time we checked, Cleveland was number 1. Cleveland is the number 2 defense in the NBA. And offense, Cleveland, have they dropped? Cleveland's 11. Cleveland's winning these games with defense. 109. So to have Jordan Clarkson, 32 points on extreme efficiency, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, he's playing at such a high level. And this is what's crazy. I mean, he's going to get a contract this offseason. 100%. And a big one. And I don't know if Utah's ready to do it. But man, was this fun tonight. JC was incredible. He's doing, I mean, you watch this Jazz stat line. I mean, if they trade JC, this team goes pretty fast. And I know some people out there, including my brothers at SLC Dunk, brothers and sisters. This is like every night, these are their scorers, Clarkson and Markkanen. It's going to be tough for them to really score when Clarkson goes down. And I know at some point Colin Sexton comes back, but man, that scoring is a big time thing. And it came when they needed it most in a playoff atmosphere. So big time stuff. Mike Conley, 13 points, 4 assists. Still not quite the same Mike Conley as we were seeing before. So I don't know what to think about Mike Conley. I just think he's wearing down a tiny bit. Age might be catching up, to be honest. Let's see. Nikhil Alexander-Walker actually played pretty decent minutes, although the plus-minus doesn't show it. But he had some nice plays. He had that awesome block. Does it show it here? Yeah, the one block. Let's watch the one block. This was awesome because I think Kessler had just been blocked, and bam! Transition block. Really cool. I mean, he does a lot of nice things, and I'm actually pretty excited about this Nikhil Alexander-Walker because I think he's going to be on the Jazz for a while. And if he can become a nice backup point guard every night, putting up consistent numbers. I mean, look at these numbers. 5 for 10, 50% from the field. He only took 4 threes, but he made one, and he's been shooting it at a pretty high level. Can't ask for more than that. For backup point guard, this is great. 13 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, block shot. I mean, oh no, that's not him. Who am I looking at? Yeah, right here. Pretty nice stuff. You know? So can he just find consistency? That is the thing really that sets NBA players apart. And superstars and stars and whatever you want to call them, is the consistency. Can you do this every night? This is why Lauri Markkanen is turning out to be pretty darn special. Because he can do this on a bad night. Back in the day, he might have done this because he wasn't demanding the ball and going to the hoop and crashing to score. Now he is. 12 or 14 from the free throw line. I love that so freaking much. I love that so much. Ochai Agbaji got big time minutes again. Stop saying, only say nice things about Ochai Agbaji from now on, okay? You'll get blocked. If you say anything negative about Ochai Agbaji, you're blocked. You're gone. You're out. Off with you. 1 for 4, 0 for 2. So the numbers weren't good from shooting, but the defense was solid. You know, and while he was in for his 17 minutes, look at that, -2. So he held his own. That's really nice to see. And they're starting to play him as a defensive guy, which is really interesting to me. I mean, if the Jazz have a number 2, like a shooting guard in Ochai Agbaji, and he can play at a high level defensively, he's athletic, so he goes up and he can dunk the ball. And that athleticism also is with the rebounding. This is really fun to see. And so I hope we keep giving Ochai Agbaji 15 to 20 minutes every game, if not more, especially if the Jazz make some sort of move. We mentioned Johnny Juzang. He was right there. Cook it up. How did I not see him on the screen? Why did I open up a whole other screen? Anyways, inactive Taylor Horton-Tucker didn't play. In a game the Jazz wanted to win, they did not play Taylor Horton-Tucker. That probably tells you something. Colin Sexton still out with injury, and Kelly Olynyk out with injury. So honestly, this Jazz team has some depth because they're missing 2 right here, 2 cornerstone rotation players, at least for this season, and they still won the game. Man, I can't get over how how good Lauri Markkanen is looking, and Walker Kessler, and then just Jordan Clarkson be awesome once again. Anything else? Let's see. I think it's time to just look at the draft board. So the Jazz win this game. I wanted them to win this game because, you know what? I wanted them to. So this drops them to 13, which makes me sad, but that's okay. 13 and 14 still good. The Jazz will probably make some trades here soon. Remember, February 9th, big time day. But tonight, it's our nightly ritual. We haven't jumped in the top 4 for a while. I think since like the first time we did it. But tonight we are going to do it. We are going to sim the lottery. Oh, and that was with the Wolves pick. Who, by the way, look at this. They've won 4 in a row. They might be figuring it out. Not my favorite. So the Jazz need to take their destiny into their own hands. All right. So, by the way, Tony Jones mentioned something, and he's pretty locked in. He mentioned G.G. Jackson, and he said, if you're from 5 to 12 in the draft, kind of makes me think the Jazz expect to be there. All right. So anyways, let's give our, first. Wait, was this even working? I don't even know if the sound was working, guys. Oh, that's why the sound didn't work. All right, just a little tech thing. The sound for this podcast goes through my headphones onto OBS. I did not have my headphones connected. That is why the sound didn't play. All right, it's time to do our lottery tonight. You think we're going to win? We have the lowest chances, but we have 2 of the lowest chances. Whoa! We did it! Jazz jumped to number 2! Scoot Henderson! Yeah! Oh, baby! Oh, baby! Can you believe it? Scoot Henderson in a 5-out offense on the Utah Jazz. Scoot Henderson, probably the fastest man since Ricky Green, the fastest of them all, to be on the Jazz and in the NBA in general. He's a jaw-level athlete. He can jump through the roof. He has hands the size of Michael Jordan, and he plays with a ferocity that makes my heart sing. Scoot Henderson! Also, the three-point shot with his time on the G League has improved, so he's looking like an absolute threat from everywhere. Incredible! Incredible! Could you imagine? Scoot Henderson on the Utah Jazz. Oh, what's the phrase for that? I'm rooting for Scootin'. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Thank you for joining the show tonight, everyone. It's been a blast. What a fun game. What a fun night. Fun was had for all. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. See ya, Lexa Later, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jared Chanderbilt, Chant Derek, Gerald Jorge Arrizaga, Baby Elias Madsen, Jordan the Goat, Bessroll, JB, Just Buckets, JB. Sorry, I got it backwards. Zap Watts, TGD, Total Game Domination, Christian House Money to Haas, Tyson Price with a huge donation tonight. My man, thank you so much. X marks the spot for Zintas. Zintas, I think, had the donation tonight as well, my friend. I got to give credit where credit's due. Yes, Zintas with the donation. Who's cooking it up, ZZ? Anyways, Tyson's just donated before, so thank you, Tyson. Joshua Hands, the Danish Destroyer, Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from Down Under, Austin, our Grant Editor Extraordinaire, Donald School, and all of us, DW to CB, Darren Williams, to Carlos Boozer, Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. We are now 23 months into memberships, and Robert Hall of Fame and Patrick Akubo are senior All-Stars at 23 months. You guys are incredible. I love you very much. Very much. Guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. You can join the channel, become an all-star, become a starter, become a rookie by hitting the button below. And also, go to PrizePicks. PrizePicks, promo code HoopsNerd. Let's put it up there. Go get some free money, guys. Go get some free money. On me. On me. It's on me. It's on me. I don't know what that was. Anyways, guys, like and subscribe. I will talk to you next time.